Hi guys, it's been a while since I've got a video up. It's been a bit of a case of the best of times and the worst of times here on the farm. So let's go for a bit of a walk and see what's been going on. The last time I got a video up, we had a bushfire burning just to the south of us here. We had really strong southerly winds for a couple of days. It was really hot, really dry. We hadn't had rain for 5 months, so the whole area was really dry. We made what preparations we could. We slashed our fire breaks and just made sure everything was as ready as we could. But the fire brigade managed to get that under control. They had helicopters in, water bombing it, and some guys working pretty hard out there to bring it under control. And you know, we had pretty thick smoke here and ash falling around the place, but you know, we knew we were never in any immediate danger. So yeah, that all worked out really well. And since then, we've had a whole heap of rain, so bushfires are the least of our worries at the moment. We've had, I think, 360 mils in the last few days. I think it's probably 10 or 15 mils in the rain gauge again from last night, but so that's up over 15 inches. And we had I think 3 inches a couple of weeks before that. So yeah, the property's looking really good at the moment. Everything's greening up, the grass is growing. The fruit trees have responded. They're really happy, just bursting into growth. There's trees flowering, fruiting. So yeah, the dams are full, as you can see, plenty of water. Tanks are all full. So yeah, really happy with how the place is looking at the moment. Not so happy with our sheep. We've had a few problems with our sheep, but we'll have a talk about that in a moment. But first we'll go and have a look up in the orchard and have a look at our pigs. This is our Japoticaba tree, or Brazilian tree grape. I've had this tree for, I don't know, 13 or 14 years. It's lived in a pot. I dug it out from my grandparents' farm when the farm was sold, and kept it in a pot in the hopes that one day I'd have somewhere to put it in the ground, and here it is. And for the first time it's actually happy and flowering and fruiting. It's a bit different to a lot of trees. It flowers and sets fruit off, basically off the trunk of the tree. I think it needs 2-year-old branches or older to actually set fruit. There's one there starting to ripen up. They'll get quite black. So yeah, looking forward to actually getting some fruit off this tree. It has set the odd fruit here and there, but only ever 1 or 2 at a time. But as you can see, this time it's got a few more than just 1 or 2, which is, yeah, pretty happy with that. I'm interested to see how this tree goes in the ground too. We've had it in a pot for a few years as well. It's peanut butter fruit. It flowers regularly, gets these big clusters of flowers, but it never really seems to set much fruit. It'll set 1 or 2. I think the best we've got is, I don't know, 4 or 5 pieces of fruit. Hoping it does better in the ground. I'm hoping it was just a stress thing from, you know, a large tree being potted up. But it's got its usual large amount of flowers, so we'll see how it goes. The fruit we have got off it are just small orange fruit, and they really taste like peanut butter. Now these guys are both pretty much ready to go. We're just waiting on the butcher. The weather's been a bit of a hold up. We're getting a mobile butcher in to do these guys for us, and the one that we well, the one that we're planning on using, he won't bring his trailers out in wet weather. He's been stuck on people's properties too many times before, he reckons, so he wants to wait until the weather's cleared up and everything's dried up. If it turns out that we can't get him in a decent time frame, then we'll look at other options, but hopefully he'll come through for us. So let's talk about the sheep. The sheep have been pretty challenging. We bought 3 ewes and a ram quite a few months ago, as most of you would know. Really happy with the quality of the sheep, the temperament of the sheep. Put them straight into the electric fence. Had no issues with them escaping. They were all very respectful of the electric fence once they worked out what it was. So really happy with our purchase. A couple of months in, we had that long period of dry weather, so the electric fence wasn't working to capacity, but we didn't realise that was the case. We didn't realise it was so bad that it wouldn't keep the sheep in. So we had one ewe that kept getting out all the time. We didn't want her teaching the rest of them how to get out, so we put her up for sale, and someone came to pick her up. The day they came to pick her up, we had another sheep out, which that's when we realised that the electric fence wasn't working good enough to keep them in. So it was sad to see her go, but we'd already made the arrangements and the man was here to pick her up, so we let her go. In hindsight, we shouldn't have been so rushed. We should have kept her and fixed the fence, basically. But anyway, she was gone, so we were left with 2 ewes and the ram. We were fairly certain the ewes were in lamb. We weren't 100%, but we were pretty sure. The first ewe, 2 lamb, had 2 girls, 2 ewe lambs, and promptly abandoned the pair of them. She didn't want anything to do with them, had no interest, so we thought we were going to be stuck bottle feeding 2 lambs straight off the bat. But we bought these gate panels. We made a small enclosure out in the paddock and we put her in there with her 2 lambs. We forced the lambs to suckle from her like multiple times a day. And over the next week she gradually accepted them and she became a half decent mother after that. So that was a little win for us. The second ewe to lamb had 2 lambs as well, a ram and a ewe lamb. She lambed at night and she lambed right beside the enclosure that the other ewe was in. Unfortunately, when the ewe lamb was born, she has got a head stuck underneath one of these panels and she was dead in the morning, which is pretty sad, a bit of a kick in the guts for us. But these things happen, I guess, you know, you can't be prepared for everything. Everything went pretty smoothly after that for 4 or 5 weeks. The lambs were growing really well, the mothers were happy. We even got a little bit of rain to start greening the place up and getting some decent feed for them. And a few nights ago, I was away at work. Carmen went over to check the sheep at night, as she does every night, and she found one of the ewe lambs dead, and the mother was pretty close to death as well. They brought her into the shed here and tried to warm her up, make her as comfortable as they could, but yeah, she didn't last till morning. We've been scratching our heads ever since, trying to work out what the cause could have been. You know, was it a chill from the rain? Was it toxic plants? You know, even was she being fed enough? We've sort of tried to cover all angles, and and nothing really makes sense. The both lambs that she had were fit and healthy, and none of them were underweight or malnutrition didn't seem to be an issue for the lambs. And for the lamb was fine that afternoon, and to be just dead by like 6 o'clock at night, yeah, it was just bizarre. The only thing we can logically put it down to is possibly a snake bite. With all this wet weather that we've had some quite heavy rain. Animals are out and about looking for dry ground. So yeah, that's about the only thing we can logically put it down to for the lamb to have died so quick and the mother to go with her. So yeah, that's been really sad to have lost 2 more sheep. So yeah, we've been it's sort of been making us question whether we should continue with the sheep, whether we're not cut out to keep sheep, or whether we should try something else. You start to question what you're doing and whether you're doing the right thing. But I think we've come to the conclusion that we are going to continue on with the sheep. We're going to push on and source a couple more ewes and go from there. But if we keep hitting challenges like this, we may abandon the sheep project and try cattle or something a little different. But yeah, we'll see how we go. We've still got the little ewe lamb in here. She's eating well, seems quite happy and healthy. We bring her in the shed here at night and put her out during the day when it's not raining with the other sheep, and she's quite content. So we'll monitor her closely for the next month or so, and hopefully all will be well. The contrast to the experience we've had with the sheep is the experience we've had with the pigs. Pigs were our first real farm animal that we bought here, after the chickens that we've always had. And we were told that we were going to have no end of problems with the pigs. They weren't going to stay in the electric fence. They were just going to dig stuff up on the electric fence and short it out all the time, and they'd be always escaping, and they'd destroy our gardens, and they'd stink. There's just this big long list of problems that we were going to have with the pigs, but we wanted to try them anyway. I'm not really one to do as I'm told most of the time, but but yeah, they have been awesome. We have had no escapes. There's no smell problem with them. But yeah, the electric fences work brilliantly with them. They still touch it from time to time to test it, but even when it's not working, they have no desire to escape. With all this heavy rain, the electric fence down the bottom of the paddock was underwater. They could have quite easily just swam out, but they had no interest in going anywhere. We even took the energizer off the fence and put it on the charger here while we had the overcast days, so there was no current at all in the fence. But yeah, they quite happy to stay in their paddock. When we built the paddock, we made sure they had a lot of room, so they wouldn't feel the need to go elsewhere. They had everything they wanted in the paddock, and that's worked really well. We've been really, really happy with how the pigs have gone. Yeah. So that's where we're at the moment with our farm animals. It's been tough the last week or two, but that's the way it goes. We'll push on. Stay tuned, I guess, and see if we stick with these things, or I hope they stay. I enjoy having the sheep. I like the sheep. They're doing a really good job keeping the grass down where we move them to, and I think they could be an important part of our farm. So I'm hoping they don't go anywhere, but at some point, if you keep coming up against brick walls, you've got to reassess what you're doing, I suppose. We're not quite at that point yet, I don't think. So we'll continue on. So that's what's been happening here at Duck Ponds Farm. I don't know if you can hear that crazy goat in the background. Yeah, so that's what's been happening here. Some good, some bad. It's all part of the farming journey, I suppose. Still enjoying our experience, loving life here. Love our block. And sorry I haven't got the videos out quite as often as what I had been. I've had a lot of stuff going on here. But if you do enjoy watching our videos, as usual, just like the video, leave us a comment and share us around. It's not just an ego boost thing. All those likes and shares and comments all goes into YouTube's rankings and helps the videos get seen by other people that are searching for information. So yeah, if you could do that, that would be appreciated, and we'll see you next time.